Why do you think that the Democratic women candidates were so successful against incumbents and breaking in to the Congress, and the Republicans much less so?
Well, there's been an unregistered, uncelebrated revolution in the American household, which is profound, and I think that's what showed. I'll explain it, which is that before the 1970s, women were basically on an economic position of feudal serfs in the household. They created use values, things you can use. They created order, cleanliness, cooked food, childcare, emotional care, and sexual services. And that was a full-time job. And luckily it was a full-time job because women couldn't earn very much. And that was so for whites. Minority men never got the family wages that supported those families, so that wasn't true of minority men. But the vast majority before the 1970s in this country were white. Then what happened was, as jobs became computerized, robotized, and sent overseas and outsourced, there was no reason for the capitalists to give white men extra bonuses for being white and being male. So they wildly depressed men's wages, which have been basically flat since the 70s. That forced women out of the household, millions of women out of the household.
Particularly white women, right?
Particularly white women who didn't have to be in the household before. It went from 25% in 1965 of women who worked outside the household to 60% by the year 2000. Very dramatic. And women who work all day are much less willing to then do what Arlie Hochschild called a second shift of taking care of men, taking care of the house, and giving men extra emotional services because they feel bad since they're not making much money, taking care of children, doing all the work of cleanliness and order and cooking and arranging for children and taking care of children. And they rebelled. Households split apart. The divorce rate surged. What also surged was the rate of people who don't want to spend money for a divorce, so they just split. And that's people who don't have goods to fight over, who make private arrangements and call it quits. So marriage became very troublesome, and women are the ones rejecting marriage now, not men. And now the majority of women is single. And those women need different conditions. They need good public health care, Medicare for everyone. They need child care. They need after-school care. They need elder care. They need better salaries. They need social benefits like Europe has. And they could see that the Republicans not only are voting against their abortions and birth control, but down the line denying them what they need while degrading them. And the evangelical movement that supports Trump and his Republican Congress people has a rule set up by the Baptist Convention on Men and Women, which the fundamentalists follow, which is that women are subordinate to men. They are not allowed to supervise men in any position. And that men should be nice to women, but women have to subordinate themselves to men's rule. That's why they have a much higher divorce rate than anyone else, because women, after working all day, are not really wanting to be bossed around by somebody who doesn't earn very much. He no longer has that entitlement.
So these needs of single women and of women under these circumstances, you're saying
they need
push them towards the Democrats?
Absolutely, because they need communal organization in the household, and they need a series of benefits that supports that and supports their role of homemakers and child carers and health providers. They need that, and the Republicans won't give it.